So that's not a good guess. What do you reckon? More or less?
Probably less.
Less? How much? Half?
0 point. Yeah, maybe like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Just look a little bit better. It doesn't go to zero, right?
Mhm.
How about even less? Like we half it again?
Yeah.
Oh,
Mm.
bam. Look at
Interesting.
that. Yeah. So it's not too bad. So now, what we could do is, we could see, well, what happens when we add, 100,000. We have 100,000.
Mm.
Yeah, it's actually going. And look at this. This is 1E7. So we start with 1, yeah, and then it just goes up to basically, because we haven't got any factor here, we didn't start with $1,000. We're effectively assuming we're starting with 2.5% of $1. And here at some point we go into tens of millions of dollars after 10,000. Interesting, isn't it?
Mhm.
So what we could do now is we could put this in a loop and basically say, well, what profit do we expect for a certain fraction, for a certain percentage? Yeah. So what I want to do is though, I want to take this and basically I want to always use the same value. So otherwise we always recalculate the random numbers. So I say, for example, this is I just call it whatever, G. And then what I can do is put this in a loop. And then, do you remember if we want to have an equidistant set of numbers from a start number to an end number with like, say, 100 values, the function that we can use for that? We did it for the linear regression remember, x
Mhm.
equals, it's linspace, okay?
Mhm.
So what we do is np.linspace. And
Mhm.
then we say, well, we want something between 0 and 0.5, right? So that's 50%. And we want, say, 40 values. And so what we can do is we can see R equals cumulative product. Now we don't necessarily want to calculate the cumulative product. We could just calculate the product because we don't want to always draw the charts, right? So all we need is the last value, which is just a product rather than a cumulative product. Okay. And so actually we've got this F here as well. So what we actually need to do is we need to get that out of this thing. So what we actually need to do is G times F, yeah, and then 1 plus. Okay, so we need to get rid of this here because otherwise we won't be able to run it in our loop, right? So we've got this F, then we loop through the different Fs. And what we also want to do is we want to collect those numbers. And so we go Rs equals this. And then we can do Rs dot append R. And probably, oh yeah, we can just use this linspace. So if we run this, we need to go bracket. Okay, so now we got this. And now what we can do is we can actually plot these R's here. And that's an interesting one. So the first thing we want to do is just go linspace this. Okay, and you can see that, remember we looked at this fraction around the 2% mark, and that was relatively high. And you can see this here. This is 10%, yeah. And here around whatever this is, 2% or so, is pretty high. But unfortunately, this is at 1 million, or this is like at 6 million, the final value. But unfortunately, that doesn't help us much. So let's just do a different plotting just to see where those values are. And you can see here, it's just this weird thing that there's some numbers. So what we want is more resolution in this area, right? Because here it's just pretty, it goes pretty low. So instead of 0.5, let's just go 0.1, okay? And instead of 40, let's use maybe, okay, hold on. That was here as well, 0.1. And instead of 40, maybe use 400. And then do the 400 here as well. 400. Oops, wrong. 400. Ah, there you go. That looks a lot better. Yeah.
Hmm.
And see how we are somewhere in the 0.2, 0.25 range. That's our maximum that we can achieve. And look at this, it's 1E14. It's like incredibly high. This is like if we start investing $1 and we have 100,000 coin tosses, yeah, we can end up with just unbelievably high number. That's fascinating,
Hmm.
isn't it? But what's more important here is this. I mean, look at this chart. And what else do you see apart from the fact that we just get this humongous number out of it?
Yeah, I mean, like that. This is like the only percentage in a way where it has like the biggest impact, so to say.
Yeah.